all I'm trying to do now is I want to match these two depths. This side is a little bit deeper than this side. So I'm going to go back here, cut this in a little bit more. And then blend it. And I want the angles to be about the same. Don't have to be exactly the same, but just get them close. All right. Now that going this direction, the grain switches on us. The downhill side is the easy side. The uphill side is the tricky side. The nice part is, on the bottoms, you really don't have to go very deep. And you don't have to do much rounding, so there's not a lot of work to do. Some of these are going to be easier to just come in like this and get. So these are tricky, so the bottom ones continue to be, these are the trickiest ones. And there's so little here that it's awfully easy to blow them out. Do real damage, so take your time. Go real light. Alright, that one's done. The V does not need to be deep, but make sure it's continuous. And symmetric. Sort of the watchwords for this whole shell. Continuous and symmetric. All right. So pretty decent. Alright, I think the last thing I'll do before we go work on the convex or concave shapes is just right in the, right at the peak of the knuckle, or peak of the knee, excuse me. um, you're going to want to just smooth the two interfaces out, and I think that's easiest to do with a back bent gouge. At this point, I'm just trying to get these convex surfaces to be really flowing. It's one thing I like about the back bent gouge is that if that gouge is cutting on all the surfaces, and by virtue of the fact that the gouge is rounded, you know your lobes are going to be nice. All right. So I'll hold this thing in again. Just look at these lobes from various angles. Just make sure they look flowing. You can shoot sight right down the leg again, and view the various arcs. Make sure they're nice and continuous all the way. No flat spots. It's real common to come up here, have a flat spot, and then rotate the rest of the way. So make sure these are continuous. Alright, let's go ahead and cut in now the concave areas. And this is probably the easiest part of the whole process. I'm using a 710, and I'll use a 7 sweep pretty far back. So just like I did on the convex surfaces, I'm going to start at the very end. And just take the 7 and push it in here until that entire piece, the entire lobe from the tip of the slope on each side conforms to the sweep of the gouge. This gouge is pushing just a little bit hard, so I think I'm going to take a slight detour and sharpen it. It's awfully easy to break off these tips if your gouge is dull. Now what you want to do during this process is you want the reveal of this bevel, the side piece. You want the height of that you can see to be uniform all the way down. And you're probably going to end up cutting into that shoulder a little bit. In other words, you're not going to stop right at this peak. You're probably going to cut into it and narrow it a little bit. And if one side's not exactly the same as the other, you can cut into that shoulder further or lesser so that at the end the reveal, the amount of that's exposed is the same and is continuous all the way from the top to the bottom. I want to be able to see both sides pretty clearly as I'm carving. And watch that reveal line. It's pretty good. So I use a 710 on the very end, and I'll go ahead and do all these at once. Pardon me.